Hi, you're welcome to the next episode on Mailbox. My name is Wale, and with me, I've got
Addition.
All right, so we've got a couple of questions to answer today. Quite interesting, perhaps challenging, but here we go. This is coming from Jimmy from Houston, and he says that, hello, I followed my mom to her office party in 2022, and ever since I met our work colleague turned friend, Alisa, I have liked her, and we have a good connection at the party and have since become close. She's 41, my mom is 43, and I am 26, meaning my mom had me at 17, and Alisa is 15 years older. We have kept our relationship secret since. I honestly don't see anything in this, but Alisa isn't comfortable anymore because of my mom. How do I go about this?
Okay, so Jimmy, from your story, it's clear that the concern is not with you and Alisa, is with the mom. So, one thing I try to talk to people when it comes to relationship is once you start getting serious and you guys are actually into each other, like you actually mean business, I don't think you need to hide anymore. There's really no point. I think you just need to come out straight. It's a conversation you can have with your mother. It's a matter of love. If you guys genuinely love each other and she means well, why not? Give it a try. Love and be loved. Allow her to love you and you to also love her in return. Because the truth about the matter is, so just like we have in one of our episodes that you mentioned, that there are a lot of conversations about relationship that people don't come out to talk about. So take for example, when an older person, say a man of 60, is married to a 25-year-old or 30, it's fun, like it's a big deal. But when it's the other way around, it becomes a challenge. You understand what I'm saying? And as God will have it, it's not even like you're in Africa.
Right.
So it makes the conversation interesting. It means that at least you have like minds around and people that understand what it means to the dynamics behind it. So I think you should just come out of, if it's your mom that she's worried about.
If you ask me, I think Jimmy essentially is more into Alisa than Alisa is into him. For Alisa, from the conversation, it feels like Alisa essentially just wanted to have fun and she's done.
Right.
But it looks like Jimmy has caught feelings and is way deeper than he probably expected. Right. So there's a certain challenge of him pulling back or pulling away. So at this point in time, even if Jimmy goes back to try to convince Alisa, I think Alisa is done, and probably this is not even our first time doing this.
So don't also forget that there are other factors that are involved. Yeah. So there's the financial part.
Right.
So if Jimmy is actually that guy that is living up to expectation, forget the age. It really doesn't matter.
I agree.
So when you see women start having some certain conversations about relationship, it's either finance or there must be something that is really not making you come out over. Because a lot of things cover up when naira and kobo or dollars or whatever figures are involved. You just see that people just cover up a lot of things that on a normal day you should question. Right. So there are also some intricacies to that relationship. Right. So it implies that it's even possible that his mom is the mom that is bankrolling Jimmy still.
Correct.
So because for you to be trying to seek your mother's approval on your relationship as an adult is questionable.
I agree.
Yeah.
So you're correct. So the dynamic seems like one-sided. So you've basically just hit the nail on the head. So the reason why Alisa would not want to go into this is she's saying more that I can't be feeding you, I can't really be bankrolling you. You are catching feelings, but there's more to a relationship than what's on ground. So you're correct. So Jimmy, it might be that you need to man up and then perhaps Alisa would take another look at you, or otherwise you have to give it up. I hope that helps you. Now, going to the second question. So this is from Tunji from Manchester in the United Kingdom. It says, I was born and raised as a Muslim in a strong Muslim home. In fact, my dad built a mosque both in Lagos and in his hometown. However, in 2021, I converted and became a Christian during schooling in the United Kingdom. I've come home twice and pretended to be my pretended to my family because I don't know how to tell them. My dad will most likely disown me. I have made up my mind in this path, but it's been difficult and I really don't know how to go about this.
So, Tuji, if you are for Jesus, stand for Jesus, irrespective. That's the truth, because the world has evolved beyond being scared to come out or being able to express where you belong, or what you believe in. So gone are those days where this kind of issue is something that you want to keep a secret. This age and time, really, the earlier you come out, the better. I mean, we've seen different testimonies and people talk about different things at different points in time. And there's a point in time where when you're filled with the Holy Spirit, all these things are no-brainer. It doesn't even, in fact, you'll be shocked that you will get home and you will just see, because it's a lifestyle, that's the truth. So I tell people, sometimes when they talk about engagement, I say, oh, I want to be a social media manager. What's your lifestyle? Like, are you actually even on that social media? There are some people that once they wake up, is the in thing, is a place to go. Once you see them, they are there. But there are some people, they don't even have a handle. You don't even know where to access them. I want to become a social. So your lifestyle, you can't even detach it. There's no how you'll be in the house for that number of weeks. And people won't see a difference in you and won't see your lifestyle. So you also need to be closer to the Holy Spirit. Try and in your prayer life, you need to hop it a bit so that you see all these things that are of concern. They'll be less of concern. Once you are in that space, the Holy Spirit will deal with every other conversation.
Absolutely. I mean, she nailed it on the head when she spoke about the presence of the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit has two functionality. One is actually to work first of all in you, which is building a character on the inside of you. And the other one is for service, which is you then begin to do that. Now you want to jump the gun from the character part to the service part, which essentially is that you want your entire family to know what your belief is right now. So build up your character first of all. And the truth about the matter is that the Holy Spirit is a gentleman, but the manifestation of the Holy Spirit is so outwardly, such that your parents, your folks will know. And at some point, when you begin to intercede for them, something would happen to them without you even naturally saying anything to them. So when you begin to intercede, which is one of the primary reasons of any born-again believer, when you get born again, you can start interceding. When you begin to intercede for them, they begin to see that there is a different life entirely. Go and check the experience of how Paul got born again. Go and check the experience of how Cornelius got born again. All of these things are actually roles and ways in which you can get into that without you having going through certain challenges, right? I hope that helps you. The last question on this particular episode, this is from Han from Australia. She says, I want to believe is a she. She says, I've always been an introvert, even while in my country, Ghana, but I had never felt lonely. Ever since I relocated to Australia to further my nursing career, I have never felt as lonely as I have now. I have tried joining communities, but I don't know how to connect with people. It's been difficult and I am gradually slipping into depression. Please help me. What do I do?
So, Anne, I mean, one of the natural things that happens to people when they relocate, of course, you were never living in Australia. So, I mean, it's a new space for you. It's just natural that you miss a lot of things that you've been familiar with. But then again, when you make certain decisions, there are also some sacrifices that you need to make. There's nothing like, I don't know how to connect with people. Because what you're demanding for needs connection. There's no magic that can happen. So you must bring yourself to that level that you have to be intentional about meeting people and wanting to connect with people. Because it doesn't go vis-a-vis. Yes, it doesn't go one way. So you must also learn to embrace people because you're already in a fix. You are not in your normal area where you can just pick up or speak to anybody that you want. It's a new place. So try as much as possible to connect with people. I'm sure you'll find few friends gradually. It might not be, you don't have to be in a hurry. And then loneliness most times is a state of the mind. It's a state of the mind. You can actually be preoccupied with 1,000 and want things, because it's a thing for you to be lonely, it's another thing for you to be alone. There are two different conversations entirely. If you are alone, let's deal that. If you are lonely, let's deal it. So also try and look for, so for me, I'll talk from my experience. Sometimes when you're alone, it gives opportunity for creativity. Spiritually too, when you're alone, it's a space where you can actually do some form of retreats, personal review of yourself. A lot of creativity can actually come out of that loneliness. So see the good in that situation that you find yourself.
All right, so let me just add this. Anyone who seeks a friend must make themselves friendly. So you've got to put out. Rather than trying to wait for people to reach out to you, you reach out to people. You probably will get a couple of rejection. Not so much because you're not used to it. You gotta keep trying, because depression is a really strong word to use. So if you want to do that, please make yourself friendly and keep reaching out to people more often, and offer to do nice things to people. All right, so we've come to the last episode, or the last question on this particular episode of Mailbox. Join us on the next episode. I'm signing out. My name is Wale, and
I'm Addition.
God bless you. Peace.